Hi everyone, it's John from What Up. Welcome back to another video. Now, with the current state of the world and everything that's going on, film and television production has pretty much ground to a halt, and that means that all the news about our favorite productions, including The Wheel of Time, also has pretty much ground to a halt. That does not stop the cast and crew from engaging with the fans, though. Recently, some of the cast members took to Instagram to answer a bunch of the fans' questions. So if you don't have Instagram, or if you didn't know about it, I'm going to cover those questions and answers in today's video. Now, also in the community section, I'm featuring Irini. She is a Wheel of Time artist that creates 3D models of Wheel of Time characters. She's pretty neat, so stay tuned at the end of this video to check her out. Alright, before we get started, I do want to say that spoiler warning. There might be some very, very, very light spoilers in this video. We're talking characters' names that you may not get into in the first book right away, and talking about some things that may happen within the first book and in the first season of the show. So if you have not read The Eye of the World, or if you want to start the series fresh, or if you want to watch the show without any spoilers whatsoever, this may not be the video for you, although we will not be going into any plot leaks or any character arcs. Alright, let's get on to the video. Alright, so the first one we're going to talk about is Alvaro Morte. Now, he has been cast to play Logain, the False Dragon, in the Wheel of Time production. Now, he recently had a few statements about the Wheel of Time show, which released, maybe a few tidbits about where his headspace is at when he's talking about his character. Now, these are translated into English, so it may not be 100% perfect, but it gives us some insight into what he's thinking. So, he says, I've been playing a character named Logain Ablar in a series called The Wheel of Time, which you will be able to see, I think, by next year. So, we've already pretty much confirmed it's going to be out in 2021, prior to the current world events. That may or may not affect it, we're not sure, but this pretty much reconfirms that. Because it requires a lot of post-production. Again, a lot of magic and CG, we knew that was going to happen. He's a very different character from the Professor, and we've had a very good time. Since it's a series that's based on a saga of the same name, we have tried to respect everything that's told in the books, but let's say provide a bit more. Now, I think that is kind of an aside to the fact that Rafe has said that he is going to expand Logan's story quite a bit in the first season. And we knew that was going to happen, and we know that as an adaptation, they're going to cut certain bits, and they're going to expand certain bits to make it look better for TV. Alright, so where was I? Anytime you do an adaptation of books, it's precisely what you do an adaptation, which, again, I've said that a number of times. So in a conversation with Rafe Judkins, the showrunner, we thought of the Logan character with a bit more of a twist. In the saga, he appears as this guy who's always dressed in black, like more of a cool guy. I've tried to work more with the tragedy that happens to the character, which is a very, very big one. You see, I think it's a very, very interesting production. So, that's great. He does talk a little bit about what happens to Logain in the first book. As those of you who've read the book know, that we only meet him very briefly in the first book from far away, and then he does come back later on in the series. With us knowing that they're making kind of an increased effort to have him more visible and do more of a storyline with him, this pretty much confirms all of that, things that we kind of knew anyway. All right. So then, a lot of the actors and actresses are very active on Instagram, and Priyanka Bose, who plays Alana Masfani, Green Aja, Aes Sedai, went on Instagram and answered quite a few of the fans' questions. So let's go through some of the questions here. Are you missing Prague? Very much. It was home for 3 months. I lived my best life there with the crew. Now, she did leave prior to the crew packing up and leaving, just by a couple of days. She had finished filming her story arc and then went home, so she was not evacuated like the rest of the crew was. But that does kind of give us an idea that she's only going to be in the first 6 episodes or so, because they haven't shot episodes 7 and 8 yet. So her story arc should last for a few episodes, but we're not quite sure what it's going to be, because she doesn't really show up until the second book in the series, and we're unsure of how far they're going to go. All right. What can you tell us about the Wheel of Time show that we didn't know? Now, this is a pretty loaded question. I feel like you guys know everything, and besides, I don't want to share some deep moments and BTS ruin what they've created for you. How dare, and then it goes on from there. So essentially, what she's saying is she can't say anything. She's under an NDA. Most actors, actresses, cast, and crew have been very vocal about that. Amazon has made them all sign NDAs, and they can't specifically talk about their time in the set or their characters or the show itself without being heavily vetted by Amazon first. How did you find your role in Wheel of Time, and have you finished shooting for this first season? My role is fun. I've never played anything like her before. Let's see what happens. Production of Wheel of Time is stalled for a bit. I finished my bits in Season 1. Our cast and crew have safely reached home, except for maybe a few who I send prayers and strength to. Thank you for your support. Now, we did know that most of the cast and crew made it home last week, which is really good. I'm glad they're all home safe and sound. And this just kind of says that she's having fun playing with the character. And that's great. If an actor or an actress really likes their character and they like what they're doing, it really does show on the screen, and I'm excited to see Alana portrayed by her. All right, Have you read the Wheel of Time books at all? Now, this is a question that I basically want to ask all the cast and crew, and we kind of know the answer. A little bit of this from Sarah Nakamura, the book consultant of the show, where she said that some of them have read it, some of them have not. But Alana, Priyanka Bose says, no, I haven't. Completely overwhelmed me. It's a tough read. I have so much respect for all of you out there who have generously supported a novice like me. Now, it is a big order. 14 books, 2,782 named characters, massive book series. We can't expect all the actors and actresses in the show to have read the full series or even start it. Not everybody is a voracious reader. Not everyone likes fantasy. But they are trying, which is great. All right, the next question. What is the craziest part that you can share about your experience on the Wheel of Time set? Please stay safe. The fact that 4 meds and colleagues had to leave Prague 2 days after I wrapped and reached home. That was the craziest thing. None of it anticipated this unfortunate halt, but I feel like we just needed to slow down a little. So eventually she's saying the craziest thing is how everyone had to pack up and leave. She did leave a few days earlier, but she's talking about the cast and crew where they had to, halt production and go stall it for a bit. Wheel of Time question, which actor in your opinion is going to be a fan favorite? Of course she's going to say Alana, the character she plays. She's going to be a fan favorite. Personally, I'm not a big fan of Alana in the series. She's a necessary character, but I don't like her that much. Priyanka Bose, I hope, puts a twist on her that makes me like her. All right. Next question. What is your favorite part of playing Alana? That she has superpowers. Now, this kind of goes out to those people who haven't read the books before, don't really know what's going on. She's referring to the fact that she is an Aes Sedai and she can channel one power and she can do very cool, wondrous things. She's also Green Aja, which means she's Battle Aja. She's probably going to be involved in quite a few battles and doing some crazy stuff. And her saying superpowers, we can dig a lot into that, but I'm kind of hoping Doctor Strange-esque special effects for the channeling. That would be kind of neat. All right. I'm excited to see you playing Alana. She's a complex character. I love all the pics you share. I only get a glimpse of her complexity. I hope to discover as we go along, which is true. I mean, if the first season covers the first 2 books, Alana is only very briefly in them. She's not in it very much. She doesn't factor much into the story till much later on, and we see a lot of the complexity and different avenues her character takes later on in the book series. I think she'll be pretty straightforward in the first season because there's not really much she does in the books. Depending on how they build on her, we're not sure, I guess. All right, next one. How similar are you to the character you're playing in Wheel of Time? She says extremely. Oh. So, like I said, I don't like Alana as a character very much. I don't like the choices she makes or how she acts in the series. I guess Priyanka is saying she's very close to the way her character acts in the script, which is good because she's only in the first few books a couple chapters here and there, and they don't talk about her a whole lot. Maybe as she goes on further in the books and she realizes some of the things Alana does and how she acts, maybe she'll change her answer a bit. We'll see. All right, another question. Which warder is your favorite? Mine, both. So in the book series, she really only has one warder that they speak of. She does have 2, and we only ever really see 1, though, in the book series. Now, we do know that they've cast 2 people in the show to be her warders, so we're going to see both of them on screen, which leads a lot of people to believe that they're going to show her in flashbacks to New Spring, or they're going to show her capturing Logain or doing the battles and stuff with him there, where she's with her warders, because at the first time we really dive into Atlanta in the series, she only has 1 warder. All right. How amazing were your costumes for the Wheel of Time? She says the best. And considering the costume designer and the costume maker that they have for the show, they're fantastic. Sarah Nakamura, the book consultant for the show, has gone on record and said that she has spent a lot of time with them, which leads me to believe that they're asking a whole lot of questions, and the costumes are going to be pretty accurate. Now, we know Robert Jordan was very wordy, and he liked to describe everything a whole lot, so they have a lot to work with to make good costumes. Dear Alana Sadie, is our Elaine Trankard beautiful? I wish I knew her yet. Now, that could mean a bunch of different things. She's probably not allowed to say. We know that Elaine, the daughter heir of Andor, her 2 brothers, her mother, basically the whole royal family in Andor has not been released as cast yet. So there's a whole lot of people that we know are in the first book that we don't know who's playing them yet, and Amazon's keeping that very close to the vest. So this could mean one of 2 things. Either she did not have any scenes with her, which would not shock me at all because she doesn't in the books, not really, not at least early on in the books, or she's not allowed to say. That's quite possible too. She is under an NDA, and if they haven't released that information yet, she's not going to tell us. All right. Can you tell us if you've seen any post-production of what the power will look like? Can't wait. I'm interested in this one. You guys will be blown away what these guys have done to support each characters meticulously. So essentially she's saying they did a great job. I mean, very vague answer, but it makes me happy that some of the actors and actresses actually are happy with their characters and what they're doing with them, especially in post. And we know that they've seen some of this stuff. They've seen the sizzle reel, so we know they've seen at least some of the post-production, or start of it at least anyway, which makes me quite happy that they're happy with it. Like, I'm pretty excited for this. All right, so the next actor that took to Instagram was Hamid Animashaun. Now, I'm terrible at saying some of the actors and actresses' names. As you all know, I have a problem pronouncing some things, not because I can't, it's just because it comes out wrong, I guess. So he plays Loial in the books, which is Napier, and they meet him in the first novel in Camelin. Now, first question to him is, what is it like being cast as Loial in The Wheel of Time? He said, I'm still pinching myself, to be honest, just hope I make everyone proud. Now, Hamid is a relatively new actor. He has done some things, especially theater, but he hasn't done a whole lot. He doesn't have a big repertoire of stuff behind him, so this is a massive deal for him. He is probably just as excited as I would be if I was cast as a character in the show. Do you get a feel of how loved Loial is by the readers? His answer, absolutely. The response and support from people so far has been amazing. Thanks, y'all. So Loial in the books is a loved character. I mean, there's very few people that hate him. There's very few people that are even indifferent about him. Pretty much everyone that I've ever spoken to or seen online really likes this character. So he is under a lot of pressure to do this well. If he plays it well, everyone's going to love him. It's going to be great. If he does even a little bit wrong, I'm sure there are going to be some people that will jump on him for that. But I think he'll do a great job either way. Hi, Loial. Can you please explain your first day on the Wheel of Time set? He said, I was nervous as hell. Get nervous all the time, which is not surprising. I mean, it is a huge production, a huge undertaking, and this could be potentially the next 5 or 10 years of his life doing this. So he was probably looking to make a good impression. He probably just didn't know what to expect either, especially if he hasn't read the book series much in depth. So, nervous? Yeah, I get that 100%. How awesome is Loial going to look? And no answer. I mean, he's not going to tell us. Loial's probably going to be done in post, maybe done with some prosthetics. We don't even know yet. We don't know how they're going to portray him on the screen. Is he going to be CGI? Is he going to be practical effects? We have no idea. We'll have to wait and see, I guess. Watch and find out, as they say. All right, so the next actor we have is Taylor Napier. Now, he is playing a warder named Maxim in the series. Now, Maxim is Alana Masfani's warder, played by Priyanka Bose, and he does not appear in the books at all. So, Alana does have 2 warders in the book series. One of them, Owen, is only mentioned by name a couple of times. We don't actually see him or see anything done with him. We just know he existed. And they've changed his name, we think, to Maxim, because that's who Taylor has been cast as, and we know that he's one of Alana's warders. The general consensus of the fandom in this is that Tom's nephew in the book series is named Owen, and Alana's warder is also named Owen. And with the multitude of characters in the book series, they probably don't want to have 2 characters that are referenced, especially in the first season, that have the same names. It could confuse some of the newer fans, or even people like me who are season fans. It'll still be confusing a little bit. So that might be why they changed his name. Either way, he's playing a character named Maxim, and we know that he's a blonde with a beard now, which is good to know. All right, so what's the hardest part about being a warder? He says, I think it depends on your Aes Sedai. Alana, Priyanka is just insatiable. Now, you'd think that this isn't really an answer. It's a non-answer, funny quip, but I'm digging in a little bit deeper here, and I've been on record a few times before, and I said that I think they're going to show adult themes. I think there's going to be a lot of nudity and a lot of sex in the series. Because, I mean, let's face it, they're rivaling Game of Thrones. They're trying to become the next Game of Thrones, and sex and nudity sells. It really does. It worked really well in the Game of Thrones. It's going to work really well with Wheel of Time, especially considering the books are rife with it. I mean, there's a lot of nudity, there's a lot of sex in the books, and most people who watch, or read the series, rather, don't notice it. I mean, you're reading it, it's not explicitly in your face. Robert Jordan doesn't explicitly describe everything. He leaves a lot of it up to the reader's imagination. But on my last read through, I did pay particular attention to that aspect of the books, and wow, there's a whole lot in it that you don't even realize is there. So this pretty much proves to me, I think, that we're going to see some of this on screen. And I am kind of excited in how they handle it. Will it be Game of Thrones style, will it be very graphic, or will it be a little less so? Depends on what the rating they're going for is, which we don't know yet. All right, funniest actor in the Wheel of Time set. Everyone was very serious. No one laughs. No one. Kind of a non-answer. That just goes to show that they all like to joke around and laugh. We know that for sure. A few of the cast and crew have mentioned that they're having a good time on set. So kind of a non-answer from him. How hot is that Wheel of Time sizzle? So hot, it's like the sun. You can't look at it directly or it'll put out your eyes. So we know that a little over a month ago they put out a sizzle reel that some of the cast and crew got to watch. And the people that have talked about it raved about how amazing it was. They can't give specifics due to their NDAs. They can't talk about it, what's exactly happening. But we know that it's really cool, and this is, in some instances, their very first look at their character on screen. And everyone so far has been very excited about it. So that makes me excited for the show. I don't think that the fans will ever see the sizzle reel. Maybe it's something they'll show at a con at some point or something similar. Normally that stuff is used internally, but I'd love to see it. So, Rafe, Sarah, anybody who has access to it, I won't say anything, I promise. All right, so that's all the questions and answers we had from the cast and crew. Before I get into the community section, I just want to let you guys know, thank you so much for supporting the channel, and if you haven't already subscribed yet, please do so. Click that subscribe button, click that notification bell. I usually put out 2 to 3 videos a week, all Wheel of Time on Prime or Wheel of Time centric. They're not usually out the same days, so notifications are very important if you want to watch my videos. Also, if you liked what I've done here today, hit that like button and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of some of the actors' questions and answers. Let me know what you think of the content of the video. Let me know if there's anything you'd like me to do in the future with my Explained series. All right, let's get on to the community section. Welcome to the community section of my show. Today I'm featuring Irini. She is a Wheel of Time artist and does a lot of 3D renderings, chibi versions of the Wheel of Time characters, as you can see up here on the screen, and they're pretty cool. I really like them a lot. So I'm going to read a little blurb that she sent me, and here we go. So my name is Irini Mantzorou, and I apologize if I said that wrong. And I live in Athens, Greece. I'm half Greek and half Swedish. After getting my BA in production engineering, I decided to change careers and go and get my MA in animation from the Glasgow School of Arts. I work as a freelance 2D animator and 3D artist, and I love creating 3D stylized characters. I was first introduced to Wheel of Time when I was 14, and it has been my favorite fantasy series ever since. I have so many favorite characters from Wheel of Time, but if I had to pick a few, it would be Egwene, Matt, and Nynaeve. So, she is a big fan of Wheel of Time, and she uses her skills and her training to make Wheel of Time art, and it is pretty neat stuff. So, I've left a link to her Instagram down below in the comments. Go there, take a look at her, support her, follow her. She is an amazing artist, and she's done a really great job with all of these. I mean, I think they're pretty neat. All right. So I do want to thank you all for sticking with me to the end of the episode. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for the community section as well. I do want to thank you all for watching the videos, and I do know that right now, with the state of the world, a lot of people are kind of stuck indoors with not much else to do, and I want to let you know that I'm going to keep creating content because it gives me something to do, but it also gives you guys something to watch too. So let me know what you think about that in the comments down below, and thank you all so much for watching, and here's to many more.